hello everyone. Welcome to tonight's webinar for all of you who are in year 9 who are making their way into year 10 in September. Yes, so this webinar is called Turn Over a New Leaf. Now, what does that term mean? You've probably all heard it before, seen it in films or whatever, but it's for all of you who have tuned in and nearing the end of your Key Stage 3 experience, and you're going to be soon stepping up into Key Stage 4. Now, that might seem like a scary step up with maybe new expectations, like the thought of GCSE exams, revision, deadlines and results days and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully, we're going to give you some resources today that you need to prepare, to grow and develop for Key Stage 4. Okay, so buckle in. But first of all, who are we? Well, I'm Merlin. I'm a learning content creator at GCSEPod, and that basically means, well, my focus is making sure that the student experience is the best it can be. Okay, so that might be through running webinars, focus groups, doing some research and things like that. And that is my role. And I also work with our student ambassadors as well. And I'm here joined by the lovely Katie.
Hi, my name's Katie. I am a customer relationship success manager for GCSEPod, and that means I help schools all over the country to make the most out of GCSEPod and just help them really. And I also run these student webinars with Merlin as well.
Yeah, we what did I say last time? I like the Ant
and Deck of GCSEPod.
Fantastic. So we're going to get straight into just letting you know exactly what we're going through today, what we're going to be running through. So you know exactly what to expect. So first up, well, we've got 4 key areas you can see of things for you to think about as you move into Key Stage 4, as you move into year 10. Okay, so we're going to go through future goals. So one way that you can think of year 10 is think of it as like a fresh start, a new slate. So what habits would you leave behind in Key Stage 3? And what new ones would you want to bring into Key Stage 4? Okay, so thinking about your goals. Next up, getting organised. Okay, so we're going to go through setting up your studies right, start as you mean to go on, and getting organised for your GCSE exams by building up a personal library of revision, covering all bases and leaving no gaps. Okay. Next up, what's your revision style? So we're going to look into revision techniques. So have you always done the same revision style before? Have you always done mind maps? Have you always just done notes? Have you always just listened to pods? And we're going to think, like, was that really the most effective way to learn for you? Have you given yourself the chance to try other methods of study? So we're going to go through what GCSEPod has to offer to help you work that out and to level up, elevate your study approach as well. And then finally, because it is just important as work, we're going to remind you on how important it is to not just look after your studies, but to look after your well-being and your brain as well. Okay.
Look after number 1.
Look, exactly. Numero uno, that is the most important thing. So obviously, you know, when sometimes you might think about going into year 10, you know, thinking about the concept of GCSEs, it can feel like a little bit of pressure. So we're going to give you a little toolkit of well-being resources and activities that GCSEPod provide that you can incorporate into your day-to-day to keep you healthy in your body and your mind. Okay, so that is what you should expect today. If you've got any questions or comments or things you want to share with us, use the comment section as much as you would like. And it should last around 45 minutes. And it will be recorded and sent out to you afterwards as well. So go on, Katie, over to you.
So before we get into our toolkit, we want to find out a little bit more about you and who you are. So we want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself as a newly grown tree. Up with us. That is a pun. Stick with us. So close your eyes and imagine yourself as a newly grown tree. Up above, each individual branch holds several leaves. Okay, so big leaves. And each leaf is going to be completely unique to you. And these leaves are who you are. They're your qualities and the things that make you who you. We want to know, what would your leaves say? So give us 5 words to celebrate your qualities and to explain who you are to us.
And I'm going to do it as well. I think I'll do it. I think me and you should do it, Katie, so we can share.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5 words to celebrate yourself.
This is quite hard. I'm on the spot now.
I know, now that we've got to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I've done mine.
Oh, yours is really nice. So make sure to get these in the chat. We have 5 words to describe who you are.
Unique to you. Like if someone asked you, who are they? What are they about? Maybe they might use one of these words to describe you, because we're here to sort of celebrate individuality, how everyone's got their own journey, whether that's to do with school or not to do with school. Yeah, let us know. Let us know. We could let you stew over that and, you know, think about it as we move into the next slide, if that's all right, Katie. Oh,
Yeah.
there we go. We've got one already. Oh, they're coming in now. They're coming in now.
Oh, these are really nice. So you got generous, loyal, caring, funny, talkative. I love that. Love, care, wild, fun. Love that. Control, freedom. Sporty, friendly, determined, emotional, caring. Oh, this is really
They're
nice.
all so lovely.
Kind, friendly, talkative, playful, enjoyable. Oh, that's really nice. Problematic, focused, determined, boring, tired. I get you.
Relatable concept.
Relatable, very, very relatable. The problematic part, definitely 100%. I feel you.
Oh,
Well,
I
that's
like
great. This is brilliant. Just keep sending those in to us. And we'll move on to our next part,
yeah,
which
definitely.
is where we'll discuss our future goals.
Definitely. So yes, it is always really good to frame your future. So like when you're thinking about your future, frame it with something to work towards, you know. So sometimes when you think of the future as like a really abstract concept, it can be quite scary. It doesn't seem real. So if you give yourself a solid, like tangible goal, then, you know, that makes it a little bit more real. It doesn't necessarily have to be something you must achieve, but something that you can slowly work on over time. Okay. So obviously we had this metaphor. Think of yourself as this newly growing tree, and a new tree starts coming more established by the roots, which they spread under the soil, don't they? So these roots, think of those as, you know, the leaves are those unique things about you, those descriptors. So the roots are the habits that you have. They're the routines that you've always done without thinking, you know. So one of the first things I do when I wake up is I go downstairs, I feed the cats, I give them a little cuddle, I make a cup of tea, and I put a podcast on in the background whilst I'm doing that. I always put on the same podcast, the same episode of the same podcast, because that's my comfort, that's my routine. Okay, so yes, so they're the habits you have. So that some habits can be good, or like, you know, they're just who you are, and some of them maybe not so good, maybe ones that you've tried to shake, others you've learned to embrace. There can be your daily rituals. So yeah.
I have been really loving waking up and making myself these fun little iced coffees in the morning, because I got these fun glasses off Amazon and glass straws. I've got it here. I was totally influenced. I just thought it looks so nice.
I like those.
And I get up and I make myself a nice coffee, and I just feel like I have everything together because of this glass and this glass straw. So everything is falling apart, but my glass and glass straw is great. So what we want to know is what's that one thing that you do at the moment? So for me, I feel like I get distracted by my phone quite a bit. What would you like to leave behind in Key Stage 3? Do you have a bad habit of getting distracted easily by your phone like me? Do you often forget you had homework? Like just go, oh my God, because there's so many things going on. Go to bed too late because you're scrolling through TikTok for too long, like myself. Or anything like that. Let us know what you'd like to leave behind in Key Stage 3. So just whack them in the chat and let me see what you'd like to leave behind in Key Stage 3 and work on.
Someone said I'm too lazy and I want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Spanish.
Procrastinating with homework. Yeah, procrastination. It's hard, procrastination. I mean, being an introvert. Yeah, I think being an introvert is really nice. I think it's a lovely quality. But if you want to, you know, put yourself out there, definitely. I understand being on my phone too much, going to bed too late. Yeah, totally get that. So when you think about those things that you want to leave behind in Key Stage 3, we want you to remember what you want to leave behind, but we want you to also look forward. So what's one thing you'd like to start doing in Key Stage 4? Do you want to start eating healthier? Do you want to revise after school for 20 minutes every day and make that kind of one of your nice daily habits? Start a study group with your pals, or even something that would be good for your brain, like start a new sport. We'd love to know what you'd like to pick up in Key Stage 4. So it might even be the opposite of what you've said. Maybe it's something that you want to work on. Let us know. Start learning how to manage my time. Well, we will be discussing that today. Yeah, do more exercise definitely helps your brain just exist, Yeah, I get that. That's true. It's hard enough as it is. Anything else that you want to work on? Just spot the cat there in the background. You might be able to see him. Revise, yeah. Try find studying fun, exercise more, and better commitment. They're really good goals, I think. I like that.
Big ones. Read
more, yeah. Time management, organizing my homework and books, yeah. I get that. I love finding time to read. It's really hard. I love reading. So I'm the same. I really like to find time to read.
It's so hard to find time though, isn't it? Sometimes to do those things that, reading books is like inherently, it takes a long time, doesn't it? It's one of those like longer sort of hobbies that you have. I always struggle to find the time for it, unfortunately.
It depends. Sometimes I'll find a book I'll finish in a day, and then sometimes I'll find a book that I'm just working on for so long. But it is finding that time, isn't it? Like before bed or something like that. Okay, cool. Well, those goals are absolutely brilliant. With time management, we're actually going to be discussing that next. We're going to be discussing about how to get organized. Take it away, Merlin.
No, thank you very much. Thank you. Like, obviously, when it comes to getting organized, that we've cut it into three things that you've got to think about. So it's about knowing what to expect in year 10, managing your time, and building your revision library up. Okay, so there are three things that we think you could start doing now, or start doing in September of year 10 to get yourself in the good swing of things. Okay, so first up, knowing what to expect. So sometimes the scary part of something is just that. It's the fact that it's unknown. It's this big, scary, abstract thing. So once you address that and then break it down into, smaller, manageable chunks, it's going to feel a lot more doable and a lot less anxiety fueling. So GCSEPod can actually help you there. It can give you a taster of just what to expect when you step up into Key Stage 4, okay? And they are through our getting ready for Key Stage 4 playlists and PDF packs. So I'm just going to get the site up for you now. So can everyone see that all right? Yeah, is that viewable on the screen? Fantastic. So I'm just going to show you where these are. Okay, so for example, let's go to a subject that I don't really like. I don't know why, but biology. Oh no, I like biology. No, that's a lie. I'll go to physics. So I go to energy and to one like this. So where is it? What am I doing? No, getting ready for here. So at the beginning of each subject, at the start of your tiles, there's going to be one called Getting Ready for Key Stage 4 GCSE. Okay, click on that, and you can see here the Getting Ready for playlist. It's basically, it contains pods which introduces a new key stage. It introduces that new Key Stage 4 content to you in a simple and straightforward way. Okay, so all this stuff, these are the new concepts, or some of the new concepts that you're going to cover in that step up from Key Stage 3 to Key Stage 4. So you'll be watching through them, and yeah, you know what? Some of them it might seem like a challenge. It's going to be new information, and that's completely normal. But you've got to remember that you're right at the beginning of that Key Stage 4 journey, and just knowing about them, having a little bit more awareness as to what to expect when you start year 10, that's just as good, So what you can do to sort of prepare for Key Stage 4 in the meantime is work through these pods, and with these pods, which with every single Getting Ready for playlist for every subject, we also have a Getting Ready for workbook, okay? So this breaks it down into activities, okay? And you do these at your own pace. You don't have to do them all, you don't have to cover every single one, but you just know that they're there, okay? So even if you don't fully understand the content of the pods by term time, it's just as important to familiarize yourself with it and just give it a go. Just give it a crack. Even just reading through this booklet and watching through those pods once without making any notes, that's going to be a fantastic start, okay? So yes, like I said, these are really useful broken down documents and pods, which are going to give you a good head start, okay, for Key Stage 4. So yeah, so that's those, and they are for every single subject we've got. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Next up, managing your time, okay? So when you start year 10, you're going to realize that time and task management skills are really important, but you'll already all be excellent multitaskers, okay? Because think about it, you're all studying what, at least 6, 7, 8 subjects at least. And you all juggle those subjects with different content and exam styles and deadlines and teachers and homework. So you're all already multitasking. You all already know you are capable of that, but it can be easy to let all that get on top of you and to let it slip past you, or, you know, fall a little bit behind. And that's okay. It happens to everyone. So you can start practicing managing your time now by creating a routine for yourself. Okay. So structure is really important to reducing stress and improving productivity. Okay. If you don't have a structure, you just end up not keeping track of upcoming deadlines and tasks. So that means a lot of cramming, last minute revision, which, as we all know, is probably not the most effective approach. Okay. So it's all about structure. So even over the summer, you know, you don't have to do schoolwork over the summer, but give your day a little bit of structure, give it a little bit of routine, because then you've got familiarity. You know, you're always going to follow the same rules. We were talking about it today, and one thing that you can do to sort of start building a routine is make your bed at the beginning of every day. It's something small, but it's something consistent, and it's something that you can stick at, and it's going to take 5 minutes. So structure is really important. Adding a little bit of structure to your day and breaking down your tasks so that it's not like this big, scary, abstract thing. Okay. And now is the best time to start practicing that. You've got a massive stretch of opportunity ahead of you now to spread out your studies to little and often, rather than doing it all last minute and not overwhelming yourself. Okay, so that's managing your time. And now we're going to go through building up a revision library, which you can spread over that time. And Kate's going to go through that for us.
Yeah, so building your revision library, one piece of advice we'll give you now is to save all of your notes from year 10 and year 11. The content you learn from year 10 onwards will be covered in any GCSE exams you have, so it's worth keeping any notes that you make. I know you might want to rip them up at the end of summer next year, set them on fire, whatever you want to do, but keep them all. They're really useful. And I'm sure most of you have been sat in an exam or mock and had a question you remember covered in class ages ago, but you can't remember any of the specifics. So saving and condensing your notes into an accessible, readable format will definitely reduce your chances of knowledge gaps. So you'll have all of those areas of cover. To make sure you cover all bases of your subject, so just to ensure that you are covering all bases, you can create your own content checklist. So using your subjects exam spec, it's a document all of you will be able to access online, actually. So by simply going to Google and Google your exam board and then the subject and specification, and you should have that then. And it's really easy then to make your list of what should be covered. It'll be vital to you. It covers every bit of content you could be examined on from now until the end of year 11. So it's kind of like, I'd say, bit of a Bible, like, to be honest.
Definitely. Like a master, think of it as a master document. So like when the examiners are putting together an exam, they work from that document. Okay, so that's comes straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So if you've got content covering every single, think of it as a tick list. If you've got content and revision notes covering each thing, then you're set.
You're ready to go. The good thing is as well is the way that our pods are structured on the site itself matches that specification structure. Sometimes if I'm going to go to say that word, I say it really wrong. Specification structure, which is going to make it loads easier, like a lot easier for you to build your library and identify any knowledge gaps that you have as well. So this is over year 10 and over year 11. So for anyone, if you do notice that you have any gaps in your knowledge or want to strengthen your notes, you can use GCSEPod's built-in playlist functionality, which we're going to go through, because playlists are a great way to organize your revision, prioritize your learning, and do it in a way that makes the most of your time. So you have all said that time management is a bit of an issue for you, and procrastination. So we'll take you through what you can do. I'm going to hop onto the site to take a look at this. So I'm going to take over the screen. Merlin, I just want to share my screen, and that snip that I took of you earlier on was there. I took a picture of Merlin while we were on a meeting, and he's like in the picture. And sent
Tell
it
the
to
world. Tell the world why that.
So we're going to have a look at the playlist feature. So for organization, I'm on the site at the moment. So this is probably what you're all used to logging into. Or if you're completely new, that's totally fine. So when you log in first, you've got your subjects here at the top. Okay. What I am going to do is I am going to pop into English literature, because that's my fave. And I have a breakdown here. This is where you can find the getting ready for, as Merlin has covered before. We're just going to pop into drama, because we all love a bit of drama. And then into Romeo and Juliet, which I did at my junior cert, which will be English equivalent GCSEs. So you've got your pod over the left-hand side, and then you've got your playlist over here. Now, this is the playlist for Romeo and Juliet. If you were going to study and you looked at this and seen 2 hours of video, you would be like, goodbye, absolutely not enough time, which is totally fair. What we're going to do is we're going to break it down and manage our time. So I have these first, let's say 4 pods, and I'm going to add them to a playlist. And you see that I have a couple of these already in. So if I know that I have some time on Thursday evening, I'm going to say or and J study Thursday Eve, and add that. So I'm going to press this little pink plus here. I'm going to add these all to these playlists. So just as you go through, you'll be able to add it to the playlist there. And once I'm happy with what I've added, I'm going to go to my home section. And when I scroll down here, just on the icons, I can go to my playlists. And there is my little ready-made. But as you see here, I've made a couple. So I've got Friday morning, Monday evening, Wednesday morning, Tuesday evening. So when you're off school, you can put this in to manage your time. And then you'll have it laid out. It's like a little calendar, isn't it, really? So if I pop in here, I have got my pods over on the right hand side, the pod there, and a couple of other things that we'll go through later on. So it's a really good way for you to organize your time, have everything in one place. And also another thing that you shouldn't be doing is staying away from those subjects that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're avoiding a certain subject, you can make playlists with a mixture of subjects in there. You could do a red, amber, green, where red being something you want to focus on, green being something that you're confident in, but just want to have a look over. Mm-hmm. Really utilize this playlist feature, because it can really help with managing your time, slotting GCSEPod into times that suit you, and that's going to free up time around that for you to do things that you like. Definitely.
Cool. Awesome. Right. Shall we move on to revision techniques? Shall we do it?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let me share my screen. There we go. Okay. So we are moving on to revision techniques. Okay. So when you think of your journey ahead, okay, so you've got summer, and then you've got year 10, then you've got summer, then you've got year 11, and then it's all done. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, you've got a bit of time before that peak exam season, haven't you? So why not use the time you've got to maximize the revision you do? So as I said before, how do you usually revise? Like, let us know in the chat, like, what do you usually do? What's the form of revision that you currently do? Is it just writing notes while listening to something, like watching a pod and writing notes on it? Is it, I don't know, flashcards, mind maps? How do you do it? How do you know as well that is the most effective method for you? Okay, so you might have done that, read through at the last minute, David. Relatable content. We've all done it.
Shall we discuss our what we've discovered this week, Merlin? What? Brown noise.
Oh yeah. Oh, game changer.
Game changer.
So Katie introduced me to the concept of Twilight ASMR at first, which helps you Like this is what so it helps you just like it's nice ambient noise related to Twilight to help you be more productive. But we both like found white noise and then brown noise, which is basically just like a hum, isn't it? But
Yeah, it
completely
sounds like
changed
an
my life.
airplane. It's amazing.
It
You
changed
should
my life
definitely try some
completely.
brown noise.
Try some brown noise.
We've
That's what
been
you can
singing
take
just
away.
noise, brown noise. I see a couple of comments coming in. So usually I make reminders beforehand and label the date, which is great.
That's good.
Summary paragraphs and questions at home on topic. That's really, really great as well.
Yeah.
They're great revision techniques. I think, trying out a few different ones might not be too bad either. And we have something great on the website for that, don't we, Merlin?
Definitely, because that's we've got Leanne said flashcards, highlighting, blurting, BBC bite-sized research. I've tried everything. We've got an experienced.
I've never heard of blurting.
I don't know what blurting is.
I don't know what blurting is.
Flashcards when I can be bothered. Flashcards, I use that for languages like French. I use that, so French on one side, English on the other. That helped me. But yeah, as Katie said, like you can always try something new out, because how do you know that what you've always been doing is the most effective revision style for you? So
we're all different learners.
Exactly, we're all different learners. We might be a mix of different types. We might like being visual, audio. We're not categorizing ourselves. There's just some that work better for us. So I'm going to go to English literature, and then I'm going to go to, again, a bit of drama because we love it.
And I just want to say again for everyone who's watching, the movement behind me is my cat deciding to have a bath. The little blur that's moving. Blurting, say something suddenly without careful consideration. Right.
So is that like the first thing you think of, like subconscious? Maybe like taking it on subconsciously or something. Oh,
maybe.
I've never heard of that, but I'm gonna read about that when we're done today. So I've gone to An Inspector Calls by JB Priestley. And one thing that you can do, and one thing these are located at the top of every single playlist on GCSEPod, are learning activities. So you can see this tab here. If I press this plus, you can see here. So what these are essentially a bunch of activities which are going to encourage you to think about your content, take what you've learned, and then create something new with it. And with that, you're processing that information, you're taking it in a new way, which is going to help you engage, understand, and reinforce your learning. So, I spot a cat. We've been with the
apologies
crashed. So it really helps you elevate your learning, because you're not only just writing notes and that's it. You're creating something new with what you've done. Okay, so I'm going to pick. This is the one I always go to because I love it. Pod to poster. Okay.
Yeah, that's I love that one. I do love that one. Chef's kiss. Pod to poster.
So this is summarize a pod. So listen to a pod and display the information on an A4 poster. Use keywords, images, and labeled diagrams from the pod to help you remember that information. Okay. So I've got an example that an actual GCSEPod user has done. So you can see here, and this was for An Inspector Calls and for the character of Mrs. Merlin. So they listen to the pods that we have on Mrs. Merlin, and using color coordinated categories, has done a poster presenting their information, presenting the themes and, Mrs. Merlin as a character. And that's one way that someone's approached it. But if I scroll down, you can see here, look at this. What a piece of artwork.
It's literally, it's amazing.
How good is that? And that's the thing, if you're a more creative visual person, you can use pod to poster. So you listen to a pod and you condense and reimagine those notes, filtering it into this form, this visual form, okay? And this is something you can have on your wall in your room. You're going to pass every day. You can glance over at just to quickly take it in. So I would say, look through our learning activities. I'll really quickly go through some of the other ones that we've got. So we've got spider diagrams. Create a spider diagram or mind map of information in the pod, making it as colourful as possible, which will help you visualize it later. Okay.
Do you know, Merlin, that if you press on the pod book activities, it actually gives students a book of all of the different activities together?
Oh, fantastic. Well, we will make
This is
sure
the second GCSEPod Bible, by the way.
yes, and we will send this out to you in our we'll send out an email after this webinar's finished tomorrow morning, and we will add this to it. So this is all the different ways you can engage with the pods that we have on the site, just to take that information in, make it something new, and keep it in your brain. We've got tons of stuff here that you can try out, and it's giving you an opportunity to look at your learning and approach it in a different way. And try something different. If you're used to doing mind maps, if you're used to doing posters, try one that's completely different. It might not work for you, but it also might be the one thing that helps you retain that information. And as I've said before, this learning activity tab is visual on every single subject, every single topic. If I go to biology and click on biology, your learning activities are up there too. Okay. So
and that means that in your bespoke playlist that you make to manage your time, to elevate your study time at that time, instead of just passively watching the pods for 20 minutes, because I mean, 4 pods is about 20 minutes study. You could be doing an activity alongside those pods at the top of your playlists, to really elevate what you're learning and try cement the knowledge a little bit more and just trying out things. I think in your first few weeks of year 10, making those playlists, organize your time, trying out a few learning activities is a foolproof way, or fail safe maybe. Any of those things.
Both work.
Both work. Is kind of a fail safe way for you to find what works for you early on, so you have that down in the bag. I do have Ozzy in my lap now because he has been very, very needy. He's trying to crash.
Got main character.
He is main character energy. Main character energy here. There he is. Say hi. His face is blurred like a child in a magazine.
So that was learning activities. And you know, something else which is going to help you sort of consolidate your learning, take it in, is check and challenge. Okay, and Katie's going to take us through exactly what check and challenge are and how you can use these in conjunction with pods and even your learning activities as well, I guess, just to you know, level up your learning.
Consolidate what you've learned, tie it up in a nice little brain bow. Check and challenge are quizzes you can complete to test your knowledge on a topic. So they're great for consolidating your learning. I've got a hair in my eye now. Sorry. It's the cat. So apologies for that. I hope everyone's cat likes cats. To consolidate your learning, not to study with your playlists, in even with student learning activities, if you're using them with your playlists, check and challenge will help to consolidate your learning. And when completing a check and challenge, you receive feedback statements on right or wrong answers. So it's essentially like having your own personal tutor when you're completing these. So they're really, really useful. Apologies, he's trying to eat dog treats now. So we're going to hop onto the site and look at how to find check and challenges, because they are on a lot of subjects, but they're not on all. But I'll show you how to easily find which subjects cover the check and challenge. I'm going to take over screen sharing. And we're on the site there again. So just above our subjects here, we have this drop down, and in here you can select check and challenge. And it brings up your subjects where check and challenge is available. So you can see it's on a lot. It's on all your core subjects, and it's on a couple of the different optional subjects as well. So if we pop into biology, and I'm going to go into cell biology, because these little diamonds indicate the check and challenge is available. At the bottom, you can see that there's a check and challenge here. So we're going to select one. And we're going to continue with this one that I've got here, okay? So as you see at the top, we've got the questions here. You've got 1 to 12 questions on this topic. So there's a good amount of numbers there for you to test yourself. You've also got a little bar that shows how easy or how difficult a question is, or how tough it is. You've got multiple choice. So this is guiding you to the correct answer, and you've got 2 chances. So you can collect diamonds when you're completing check and challenge. If you get it right in the first go, you get 2. Wrong on the first go, right in the second, you get 1 diamond. Okay, so we're going to select. I made a fool out of myself doing this the last time, didn't I? I got a lot of things wrong, and I will get a lot of things wrong.
You were learning. It's a learning opportunity.
It is a learning opportunity. That is so true. Okay, so I'll get a hint. Atoms are bottom. No, that is not good for me.
We're all watching. Oh, fantastic stuff.
So you see, I've got a feedback statement there. Now I'm going to pick something wrong. If I get this right on the off chance, there you go. So you'll see that I've got a negative feedback statement there. So that is your tutor. That is the person that's with you, well, virtual kind of thing that's with you throughout creating, checking challenges or completing them. Okay. So they're really great. Use them at the end, maybe after using student learning activity, looking at your playlists. And what's great about this is you can track how you're doing over time. So it's going to keep a record of how well you're doing and how long it takes you to complete the check and challenge. And there's no limit to the amount of times you can attempt check and challenges. Every time you go back in, the answers and the questions are jumbled up as well. So they're not all going to be the same. It won't be repetitive. It will show your results over time so you can physically see how much you're learning and how much you're improving. So if I go into view progress here, we'll be able to see my learning throughout this journey. So I started off at 33%, which is obviously not the best. And then I have improved over time to go to 63. And at the bottom, I have a great breakdown of the different areas that I need to focus on and also the time it took for me to complete that. So it's great. They're designed to be reset, redone, and improved so that you can solidify that knowledge. So using playlists, managing your time, using student learning activities in order to cement the information, and then consolidating your learning with a check and challenge. It's just a great way for you to get into a routine of habits to get revision in the bag, basically, for year 10. It can link with your bespoke library. So when you create a playlist within your library, you actually should have check and challenge at the bottom when it links. So you'll see that for my study for Thursday evening, I've got my Romeo and Juliet, and then I can select a check and challenge that goes with that. So it will be characters here because it's going context of the play and also the plot overview. So it might be the characters there, but you can select that too. So that's check and challenge there. I'm just going to hand back over to Merlin because we're going to discuss staying mindful throughout this whole process as well.
Definitely. And I'm aware that obviously, we've got 5 minutes left, so we've got just enough time to go through. We can cool down. We've thrown a lot of information at you, all useful information.
All good things.
Maybe a lot of information can sometimes be overwhelming, and that feeling might return again during high pressure moments during next year, during year 11. And I remember the pressure of that. I remember high school very, very well. And even 11 years ago, I can still remember, it's a lot of stuff to think about. It's a lot of subjects to deal with. So we have loads of resources that are free, readily available for you on our student resources page. We will send a link to them at the end of the webinar and the post-webinar email. So we've got stuff like this. We've got posters on dealing with stress. So this is something, I don't know, you could put up on your wall, you could bring it to school and put in your tutor room, how to prevent panic, during those high pressure times. And we also, as well as these are some posters, we also have a series of pods on mental health and well-being, okay? So they are split into 3 categories: mind, body, and environment. So I'm going to show you those on this site. So I'll go back to the homepage and I will just press the plus sign here and I will find keeping fit and healthy. Okay. Body, mind, environment, and we have a teaming pod as well. So these are essentially, these aren't something that, you have to sit, you don't have to study these. I know that they might be pods, but these aren't pods to study. These are pods to enjoy and do in downtime. Because they not only demystify the science behind stress, okay, but they also give you practical step-by-step advice on what to do when things might get too much, when things might get a little bit overwhelming, okay? So here we go. So I'll give you an example of one of them, mind. So in mind, we've got a pod on mindfulness, relaxation, training your attention, visualization. So one thing I'm going to click on is sometimes I find it hard to relax and wind down. So I'm going to session save. I just put on the whilst I'm speaking. So these pods go through and give you the science behind stress, the science behind well-being, and gives you practical solutions on what to do. Okay. So it's saying here, watching this pod is one of the ways that you can reduce the cortisol in your brain. So this pod goes through the fact that when you feel stressed, when you feel overwhelmed, your brain literally releases a chemical called cortisol, which actually makes you less productive and unable to taking information. So the best thing to do in that situation is not to carry on studying, because you're not going to take anything in. It's to do this. It's to start, meditating, breathing, relaxing. Okay. And these pods are so great because not everything's going to, speak to you. Not everything's going to work to you, but work your way through them, visualization, choosing your mood. I'll really quickly show you the stuff we've got in body, posture, exercise, hydration, nutrition, and sleep. Some people were saying that they have maybe a little bit, bad sleeping patterns. But
every time posture is mentioned, I just end up sitting up.
Yeah, same, like stiff as a board. So these pods are really worth you going through, because they're going to give you some real practical advice, because we don't just want to say, oh, we know that it's hard, we know that it's difficult sometimes. We want to do more than that. We want to actually give you some step-by-step guidance on how you can counter it. And what we're going to do, because unfortunately, I know you're all so disappointed, we've reached the end of the webinar. Okay, I know, it's so tragic.
We have to say goodbye.
But before we say goodbye, we're going to give you some practical step-by-step advice on relaxing and meditating, and we're going to do a breathing exercise. Okay?
I've been so excited for this. I'm totally
Really?
ready.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so we're all going to do this together, and it's called the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Okay, this is actually, it was developed by someone called Dr. Andrew Whale, and he refers to it as a natural tranquilizer for the nervous system. Okay, so it's giving you that reset, it's giving you that perspective, that space. So I will give you the instructions first. Okay, so you can practice it anywhere and anytime. When you're first learning, try and practice it twice a day, but you can do it as often or as little as you want. So what you'd first want to do is find a comfortable place to sit with your back straight, with good posture, with your back straight. Okay, place your tongue. I'm not gonna do it because otherwise I won't be able to speak. Okay, place your tongue on the back of your top teeth and keep it there. Okay, everyone watch Katie's a model. Exhale completely through your mouth around your tongue, making a whoosh sound. Purse your lips if it helps. So exhale and get it all out. And then here's the first instruction. Close your lips and inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for a count of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you repeat that for 3 more times. Okay, so I'm going to do some times. I'm going to do the times. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, then I'll do 7, then I'll do 8, and we'll all try it together. Okay, well, I won't, because again, I won't be able to speak, but okay, if we're all ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you do that 3 more times. I won't go through counting because I won't do that, but you know that now. Take a picture of this guide, 4-7-8 breathing it's called, and that can just help you just reset. It gives you that space, it gives your mind that space to sort of, okay, there we go. If it all gets too much, Katie's still doing it. Katie's so into it. I love it.
I'm so into that. I feel clean, like the inside. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever hear those sounds on TikTok and stuff that's like, this sounds like getting your brain cleaned?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you all think that I'm a bit strange, then that's absolutely fine. But things like that just make me feel reset and ready to go. So I hope that really helps everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? This might not work, but look through those pods and see if there are some other breathing techniques in there that might work for you. So I hope that helped. And with that, we're just, all we've got left to say now is thank you. Thank you for tuning in this evening. The fact that you've turned up, outside of school hours, you've registered and you've attended this, that means that you're starting, Key Stage 4 the right way, because you're proactive and you're taking steps to work through your knowledge. We hope that this helped. Feel free to leave to enjoy your evening, and when the webinar ends, a post-webinar survey, of literally 3 questions to pop up for you. So if you can, we really appreciate if you let us know how it was, because we really enjoy running these, and we hope that you do too. And I think that's all that's left to say.
We've just loved having you and we've loved your responses. You're honestly just brilliant bunch, and we know that you'll smash going into Key Stage 4.
Definitely. But thank you so much for joining. Again, we're gonna go. Enjoy your evening. Have a good one, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.